Imagine a place where every book holds a dream, every shelf whispers a secret. Tonight, unlock the doors to the library of lost dreams, a forgotten sanctuary built just for your profound slumber. Let its gentle narrative and soothing sounds guide you into a sleep so deep you'll awaken truly restored. The threshold of quietude. Before we begin this journey together, let us pause here at the edge of waking. Let your body settle into the softness beneath you. Feel the weight of your head against the pillow, the gentle rise and fall of your chest as breath moves through you like a tide. There is nowhere you need to be, but here. Nothing you need to do, but rest. Close your eyes, or let them grow heavy with the permission to drift. With each breath, you are releasing the day behind you. All its sounds and urgencies fade, like echoes in a distant hall. You are safe. You are held. You are welcome here. Tonight, you will walk through a place that exists between sleep and memory, between twilight and dream. A library that has been waiting for you, patient as starlight, quiet as snow falling on a forgotten path. The library of lost dreams opens its doors only to those who seek true rest. And tonight, those doors open for you. Breathe in slowly. Hold that breath like a secret and release it, letting everything soften. Now, let us begin. Chapter 1. The Arrival Hall. You find yourself standing at the entrance of a hallway you do not remember approaching. Perhaps you walked here, or perhaps the library itself drew you in, the way certain places call to us in dreams. The transition is seamless, gentle as slipping into warm water. The hall before you stretches into a soft golden distance. It is not imposing, this vastness. It feels instead like an embrace that extends infinitely, welcoming you deeper. The walls are lined with dark wood that gleams like honey in lamplight, rich mahogany and walnut worn smooth by centuries of quiet footsteps. Lanterns hang suspended in the air, not from visible chains, but from something more mysterious, more dreamlike. They glow with a light that is neither candle nor electric, but something warmer, softer, the light of memory itself perhaps, or the gentle luminescence of stories waiting to be remembered. Each lantern casts a pool of amber radiance that overlaps with the next, creating a pathway of light that guides you forward. The air here smells of old paper and vanilla, of leather and dried lavender. It is the scent of preservation, of time held gently in place. Underneath these fragrances, there is something else, something like rain on summer earth, or the quietness after snow has fallen. It is the smell of peace itself, if peace could have a fragrance. You take a step forward, and your footfall makes almost no sound. The floor beneath you is carpeted in deep burgundy, a color like wine held up to firelight. The carpet is so thick that your feet sink slightly, with each step cushioned and supported. Walking here is like walking on moss, on cloud, on the softest thought. Above you, the ceiling arches gently upward, not dramatically, but just enough to create a sense of openness, of breathing room. The wood beams that cross the ceiling are carved with subtle patterns, vines and stars and symbols you almost recognize but cannot quite name. They are not meant to be read, only felt, the way you might feel the presence of a lullaby without hearing its words. Particles drift through the air around you, visible only where the lantern light catches them. They are not dust exactly, but something finer, more intentional dream particles perhaps. Fragments of forgotten wishes and sleeping thoughts suspended in the stillness. They float with impossible slowness, rising and falling on currents of air you cannot feel, tracing lazy spirals and figure eights in the golden light. You pause to watch them, and in pausing, you notice how quiet it is here. Not silent. Silence can be sharp, alert, waiting. This is quietness, which is softer. It is the sound of a vast space at rest. Somewhere far away, you hear the gentle settling of old wood, the whisper of pages turning, though you see no one. A distant sound like wind moving through a high window, carrying with it the faintest melody. Not quite music, not quite memory, but something in between. As you stand here in this arrival hall, you become aware of a presence, not a person, not exactly, but a feeling of being gently guided, an unseen attention that wishes you well, that knows why you have come, the library itself, perhaps, acknowledging you, welcoming you home to a place you have never been, but somehow recognize. There is no hurry here. Time moves differently in the library of lost dreams. Minutes might be hours, or hours might be heartbeats. It does not matter. What matters is the softness, the settling, the slow descent into comfort and wonder. You continue forward, one quiet step after another. The hallway curves gently to the right, revealing more lanterns, more glowing particles, more pools of amber light. On either side of you, you begin to notice doorways. They are arched and elegant, each one framed in carved wood. Through some of them, you glimpse bookshelves rising into shadow. Through others, you see staircases spiraling upward or downward, leading to chambers you cannot yet imagine. But you do not enter these doorways yet. Something pulls you forward, a gentle magnetism in your chest. The library is showing you the way, one breath at a time. You trust this guidance, the way you might trust your own heartbeat, without question, without thought. The golden light seems to deepen as you walk, becoming richer, warmer. It reminds you of late afternoon sun filtering through autumn leaves, of honey spreading across warm bread, of the glow that lives behind closed eyelids when you face the sun. It is the color of comfort, of safety, of coming home. Your breath has slowed without you noticing. In and out, gentle and even. Your shoulders have dropped. The muscles in your face have softened. You are arriving, not just in this hallway, but in yourself, returning to a place of rest that you had perhaps forgotten existed. Ahead, the hallway opens into something larger. You can sense it before you see it. A shift in the air, a change in the quality of light. A space where something waits to be discovered, where the first dream is ready to be remembered. You take another step and another, moving at the pace of honey dripping from a spoon, at the pace of stars wheeling across the night sky. Slow, inevitable, peaceful. The library of lost dreams is vast, but you have time. All the time in the world, all the time beyond the world. There is only this moment, this step, this breath. And so you walk on, deeper into the gentle heart of this impossible, necessary place. Chapter 2. The Hall of Forgotten Childhoods. The hallway opens into a chamber that stops you with its quiet sweetness. This is the Hall of Forgotten Childhoods. Though you do not see a sign, you simply know it, the way you know certain things in dreams, with a certainty that needs no explanation. The room before you is round, or perhaps oval, its exact dimensions somehow unclear, as though the walls gently resist being measured. The ceiling here is higher, rising into a soft dome, painted the color of a summer sky at midday. Not a harsh blue, but a tender, milky azure, dotted with small golden stars that seem to pulse with slow, sleepy light. Bookshelves line the curved walls, and these shelves are different from what you might expect in a library. They are lower, more accessible, built at a height that a child might reach. The wood is lighter here, pale oak or ash, smooth and warm to the touch. Each shelf is carved along its edge with playful details, tumbling blocks, soaring kites, butterflies with delicate wings, and sailing boats on gentle waves. But it is the books themselves that draw you closer. They are small, these volumes, sized perfectly for small hands, though you can hold them comfortably in your own. The covers are soft cloth, not harsh leather. Velvets and linens in colors like rose and sage, buttercup and powder blue. Some have ribbons for bookmarks, dangling like tiny silk waterfalls. Others have titles embroidered in careful thread. The Dream of the Endless Summer, The Garden Where Nothing Dies, The Toy That Came Alive at Twilight. You reach out and touch one spine gently, and the book seems to warm under your fingertips. It hums with a soft contentment, like a cat purring in sunlight. You draw it from the shelf, a slim volume bound in green cloth, with golden grass embroidered on the cover. The book falls open in your hands, not to words, but to sensations. Suddenly, you remember, or the book remembers for you, what it was to lie in grass on a summer afternoon. Not any specific summer, but the essence of summer, the distilled sweetness of every perfect warm day you ever knew. The grass is cool beneath your back, and you can feel each blade pressing gently against your skin. Above you, the sky is impossibly blue, and clouds drift past like ships made of dream foam, changing shapes as you watch a bee hum somewhere nearby, lazy and content. The air smells of clover and growing things. Someone is calling your name from far away, but there is no urgency in it. Only love, only the gentle knowledge that you are near, that you are safe, that you are cherished. You close the book gently, and the memory softens, becomes a warmth in your chest rather than a vision. You return it to its place, and it nestles back among its companions with a satisfied whisper. In the center of the room, there is a large, low table. A reading table, clearly, meant for sitting on the floor. Cushions surround it, oversized pillows covered in soft fabrics. Some are embroidered with stars, others with simple patterns of moons or trees or sleeping animals. You lower yourself onto one of these cushions, and it accepts your weight with a gentle exhale, molding itself perfectly to support you. On the table, several books lie open, though no reader is visible. Their pages glow faintly, as though lit from within. Curious, you lean forward to look at one. The pages show not text, but illustrations that move with the gentlest of motions, barely perceptible, like breathing. One book shows a child's bedroom at dusk, where a mobile turns slowly above a crib. Tiny stars and moons sway in a circular dance, casting moving shadows on the wall. The shadows are not frightening, but comforting. Friendly shapes that keep watch through the night. Another book displays a sandbox in a backyard and two small hands building a castle. The sand pours in slow motion from a plastic bucket, each grain visible, catching the light. The castle rises, tower by tower, and though you know sandcastles are fragile, this one feels permanent, protected by the amber of memory, preserved in the perfection of its making. You turn your attention to the shelves again, standing slowly, though standing feels effortless here, as though gravity is a suggestion rather than a law. You move along the curved wall, trailing your fingers across the spines. Each book you touch offers a whisper of its contents. The lullaby garden, and you hear, faint as starlight, a wordless melody humming in the air, a song your grandmother sang, or a song you sang yourself, or a song that simply exists in the space where love and sleep meet. The blanket fort at midnight, and you remember the architecture of safety, the way sheets draped over chairs became kingdoms, became caves, became spaceships, the flashlight beam cutting through shadow, creating a cone of private light, the feeling of being hidden but not lost, separate but not alone, the rain on the window, and there it is, the soft percussion of drops on glass, the grey light of a Saturday afternoon with nowhere to be, nothing to do but watch the water race in rivulets, drawing maps of imaginary countries on the window pane. Each book is a dream that someone once forgot, not through carelessness, but through the simple forward motion of life. We grow, and in growing, we leave certain dreams behind, like shells on a beach. But here, in the library of lost dreams, nothing is truly lost. Everything is preserved, waiting, ready to offer its comfort to anyone who needs the soft reassurance of who they once were. You notice now that there are toys scattered throughout the room, not in disarray but placed with care, as though they are part of the collection. A wooden rocking horse stands near one bookshelf, painted white with a silver mane. Its rockers moving slightly, perpetually returning to center. A stuffed rabbit sits on a small chair, its velvet fur worn smooth by countless embraces. One ear flopped forward, in permanent contentment. A music box rests on a low shelf, its lid propped open. You cannot see inside from where you stand, but you can hear it, the delicate, slightly off-tune plinking of a melody box playing its eternal song. The music is slow, measured, each note given space to float and fade before the next one arrives. It is the sound of patience, of things that do not rush, of time held gently in the palm of a hand. The light in this room seems to breathe. It brightens slightly, then softens, brightens again, as though the chamber itself is inhaling and exhaling, as though the very air participates in rest. The golden glow of the lanterns mixes with what seems to be natural light. Though you see no windows, you sense sunshine, filtered and warm, coming from somewhere, from everywhere, from the books themselves perhaps. You settle back onto the cushions, letting your body relax completely. There is no discomfort here, no wrong position. The pillows adjust themselves to you. The air itself seems to support you. You could stay here for a moment or an hour or a lifetime, and it would all feel the same. Perfect, sufficient, complete. Around you, the books whisper their gentle chorus. Not words, not stories exactly, but the sound of dreams breathing. The sound of childhood, not as it was, with all its genuine complexities, but as it lives in the safest chambers of memory. Simple, warm, held in golden light. You understand something now, something the library is teaching you without words. These forgotten dreams of childhood are not meant to make you sad for what is gone. They are meant to remind you that sweetness exists, that you have known it, that it lives in you still, preserved like flowers pressed between pages, ready to offer its fragrance whenever you remember to pause, to breathe, to open yourself to wonder. Your eyes grow heavier. The music box continues its patient melody. The rocking horse rocks so slightly, in rhythm with nothing visible, in rhythm perhaps with your heartbeat, with the gentle current of dreams flowing through this place. You could sleep here, in the hall of forgotten childhoods, surrounded by the safest memories, the softest dreams. But something tells you there is more to see, more rooms waiting, each one offering its own particular comfort, its own doorway into rest. So, with a slowness that honors the peace of this chamber, you rise. You take one more look at the books, at the toys keeping their eternal vigil, at the stars painted on the ceiling that pulse with their tender light, and then, moving as gently as a thought, as softly as a wish, you make your way towards the next doorway, the next dream, waiting to unfold. Chapter 3. The Room of Unwritten Stories. Through an arched doorway, you enter a space that feels both smaller and more infinite than the chamber you've left behind. This is the Room of Unwritten Stories, and it hums with potential, the way a tuning fork hums with a single, perfect note. The room is circular, intimate. Its walls are not lined with books, but with empty shelves. Beautiful, expectant shelves of white birch wood, smooth as silk, waiting to be filled. The emptiness here is not sad or lacking. It is full of possibility, pregnant with stories that are ready to be born from the quiet depths of dreaming minds. In the center of the room stands a round table made of pale wood that seems to glow from within, as though carved from solidified moonlight. Upon this table rest dozens of books, but these books are not like the ones you've seen before. These books are blank. They are bound in soft leather, some in cream, some in dove grey, others in the palest rose or blue. The leather is supple, warm when you touch it, alive in the way that anything cherished becomes alive with care. The pages, when you lift a cover, are thick and inviting, made from paper that has a faint texture, a whisper of cotton, a hint of linen. They are the kind of pages that a pen would glide across, that would cradle ink like a blessing. But there are no pens visible, no inkwells, no quills lying ready. Instead, floating in the air above the table, suspended by nothing but the logic of dreams, are writing instruments made of light, quills fashioned from what looks like golden mist, their feathers glowing softly, each barb distinct and perfect, fountain pens that trail luminescence as they drift slowly through the air, tracing lazy patterns above the table, brushes with bristles made of starlight, slowly rotating, catching the gentle light that suffuses the room. You approach the table, drawn by a curiosity that is gentle, not demanding. As you draw near, one of the blank books seems to brighten slightly, acknowledging your presence. You reach out and touch its cover, and it opens by itself, pages falling open to reveal smooth, empty paper. And then, as you watch, as you breathe, something miraculous begins to happen. Words appear on the page, not written by any visible hand, but formed from the air itself, from your presence, from your breath and heartbeat, and the particular quality of your thoughts. The ink is silver at first, then settles into a deep, warm blue. The blue of twilight, of distant mountains, of certain flowers that bloom only in memory. The words are not forceful or urgent. They arrive like leaves falling, one by one, settling into place with quiet certainty. They do not demand to be read immediately. They simply exist, content to wait, patient as everything else in this library. You realize, with a soft understanding, that these words are your stories. Not the stories you tell others, not the narratives of your public life, but the secret stories, the dreams you've half forgotten, the wishes you've never spoken aloud, the tales that live in the space between sleep and waking, too fragile for daylight, too precious for casual telling. The book is writing itself, but it is writing you, your unseen self, your sleeping self, the part of you that only emerges when the world grows quiet and the mind stops its constant chatter. This is the story of who you are when no one is watching, when you are alone with the vast gentleness of your own interior landscape. More quills drift down from wherever they rest, hovering over other blank books on the table. Each one begins to write on a different page, filling different volumes. Some write in slow, elegant script. Others make smaller, quicker marks, like rain falling on paper. One brush paints images instead of words. Watercolor scenes that bloom across the pages in soft washes of color. A garden at dusk. A path through trees. A window with light glowing behind curtains. Simple images, but each one carrying a weight of feeling, of atmosphere, of dreams, given visible form. The sound in the room is the sound of writing, but magnified, made musical. The scratch of quill on paper becomes a whisper, a susurrus, like wind through wheat fields. The ink settling into the page makes a sound like distant rain, like the ocean heard from far inland, like your own blood moving through your veins. Quiet, constant, assuring you that you are alive, that you are here, that you are safe. You pull out a chair, carved from the same pale wood as the table, and sit down. The chair accepts you perfectly, adjusting itself to your shape. You rest your hands on the table, and the wood is warm, slightly yielding, as though it breathes beneath your touch. Around you, on floating shelves that you now notice circling the room, other books are being written. They hover in the air, pages turning by themselves, filling with stories. Some books write quickly, pages flipping at a steady pace. Others write slowly, a single word appearing every few moments, as though the story is being considered carefully, weighed and measured before being committed to the page. You understand that these are all unwritten stories, tales that exist in the minds of dreamers everywhere, stories that are waiting for the right moment to emerge, the right quiet space to be remembered. The library is writing them down, preserving them, honoring them even in their incomplete state, their fragmentary beauty. The light in this room is different from the other chambers. It is whiter, clearer, like the light of early morning before the sun has risen. But after the darkness has begun to retreat, it is the light of beginnings, of fresh pages, of potential not yet shaped into final form. This light comes from the writing itself, from the ink and paper and glowing quills, from the act of creation happening all around you. Occasionally, a page finishes filling with words, and the book closes itself with a soft sound. Not a slam, but a whisper, a sigh of completion. The book then drifts upward, floating to one of the empty shelves, where it settles into place with satisfaction. The shelf accepts it, and immediately the book looks as though it has been there forever, as though it has always been part of the collection. You look down at the book that opened for you, at the words appearing on its pages. You do not need to read them specifically. They are writing in the language of dreams, which is not quite the same as waking language. But you can feel their meaning, their gentle unfolding. They are telling you that you are more than you think you are, that inside you there are stories upon stories, dreams within dreams, depths that you have not yet explored. And that is all right. You do not need to explore everything. You do not need to write everything down. Some stories are meant to stay quiet, to remain unwritten, to exist only as potential, as possibility. But here, in this room, even those unwritten stories are honored. Even the dreams you will never fully remember are preserved, are valued, are kept safe. One of the luminous quills drifts closer to you, hovering near your right hand. It does not insist, but it offers itself. You could take it. You could write something. Add your conscious thoughts to the unconscious flow of words filling the books around you. But you do not need to. The invitation is gentle, and it is equally gentle to decline, to simply watch, to let the writing happen around you and through you without forcing participation. You choose to watch, to breathe, to let yourself be written rather than to write. The quill accepts this, drifting away without offense, returning to its dance above the table. Time passes, though how much time is impossible to say. You sit in the soft chair, surrounded by the quiet music of creation, the scratch and whisper of pens, the gentle rustle of pages turning, the almost imperceptible hum of words arranging themselves into meaning. Your breathing has synchronized with the rhythm of the room. Each inhale draws in potential. Each exhale releases it onto the pages, into the air, into the vast network of stories that makes up this library. You feel yourself softening further, your edges blurring slightly. You are becoming more permeable, more open to the dreams that flow through this place. The boundary between yourself and the room grows thinner. You are not disappearing. You are expanding. joining the gentle current of creation that moves through the library of lost dreams. Outside yourself, beyond the walls of this room, you sense the vastness of the library continuing. More chambers, more dreams, more sanctuaries of rest and remembering. They are waiting for you, patient as everything here is patient, ready to reveal themselves when you are ready to move forward. But for now, you remain in the room of unwritten stories, watching the books fill themselves with silver and blue ink, listening to the sound of dreams becoming permanent, breathing in the clean, clear light of morning that never quite breaks into day, that stays forever in the gentle transition between darkness and dawn. Your eyes have grown heavier. Your head feels pleasantly full of soft light. The chair supports you perfectly, and you let yourself lean back slightly. Let yourself relax even more deeply into the moment. The books continue writing. The quills continue their slow dance. The stories continue unfolding, page after page, word after quiet word. And you are part of it all, woven into the fabric of this dreaming place, held safe in the knowledge that some stories do not need to be finished, that some dreams are perfect in their incompleteness, that rest itself is a kind of story, the most important story, the one that lets all other stories be possible. When you eventually rise, and you will rise gently, in your own time, the book that opened for you will close, will drift to its shelf, will wait there with infinite patience for the next time you need to remember that you are made of stories, that dreams flow through you like water through cupped hands, that you are both the writer and the written, the dreamer and the dream. But for now, you simply sit and breathe and let the room write what it needs to write. Let the library do what it does best. Preserve the quiet magic of stories waiting to be told, dreams waiting to be dreamed, rest waiting to embrace you completely. Chapter 4. The Garden Atrium of Sleeping Memories. You rise from the chair in the room of unwritten stories, and the movement is effortless, as though you are made of something lighter than usual, something closer to thought than flesh. The books continue their gentle work behind you as you move towards the next doorway, an opening that glows with a softer, greener light. Stepping through, you find yourself in a space that stops your breath, not with shock, but with wonder so gentle, it feels like remembering something you've always known. This is the Garden Atrium of Sleeping Memories, and it exists inside the library like a dream within a dream, an impossible garden housed beneath a ceiling of glass and starlight. The room, if it can be called a room, is vast enough that you cannot see its far walls. They fade into a gentle twilight that never deepens into darkness, never brightens into day. The ceiling high above is indeed glass, though what lies beyond it is not the sky of the waking world, but something else, a night sky that does not belong to Earth, or perhaps belongs to all nights at once. Stars drift across this sky in slow, visible motion, drawing lines of silver light, like celestial currents, mapping the flow of dreams across the universe. But it is what grows here, in this impossible garden, that truly captures your attention. The floor is not carpet or wood, but earth, soft, dark earth that gives slightly beneath your feet, moss-covered and welcoming. Paths wind through the space, made of smooth stepping stones that glow faintly from within, emitting a pale blue luminescence that lights your way without disturbing the essential darkness. The stones are warm beneath your feet, heated by some internal source, some magic that wants you to be comfortable, that wants your every step to be a small pleasure. On either side of these paths, plants grow. But these are not ordinary plants. They are bioluminescent, each one emitting its own gentle light. Some glow blue, the color of moonlight on water. Others shine green, like fireflies held in the palms of invisible hands. Still others emit soft purples and pinks, warm oranges and cool silvers, creating a constellation of plant light that mirrors the starlight above. The flowers are large and dreamlike, blossoms the size of dinner plates, their petals translucent, showing delicate veins that pulse with slow light. Some flowers resemble roses, if roses were made of frosted glass and filled with captured starlight. Others look like lilies, their trumpets wide and welcoming, emanating a glow that warms the air around them. Still others are unlike any flowers from the waking world, spiral blooms that turn slowly, geometric flowers with mathematical precision, floating blossoms that hover inches above their stems, tethered by light rather than by plant fiber. The air here is different too. It is warm but not hot, carrying the perfect temperature of a summer night, the kind of night where you could fall asleep outside and wake up comfortable, dew-kissed but not cold. The air smells of growing things, of chlorophyll and bloom, of earth after gentle rain, of night-blooming jasmine, and something else, something you cannot name, but that smells like peace, like safety, like a lullaby made into fragrance. You follow one of the glowing paths deeper into the garden. Your footsteps make no sound on the soft earth. Around you, the plants seem to breathe, their light brightening slightly as you pass, acknowledging your presence, welcoming you into their sanctuary. Ahead, you hear the sound of water, not a rush or a roar, but a gentle sound, like a stream speaking in whispers, like rain remembered, rather than rain heard. You follow this sound, and the path curves to reveal a pool. The pool is circular, perhaps 20 feet across, its surface absolutely still, reflecting the stars above and the glowing plants around its edges. The water is so clear, it almost isn't there. You can see straight through to the bottom, where more of the luminescent stones rest, creating an underwater galaxy. The stones at the bottom emit a cool blue light that rises through the water, giving the pool an ethereal glow, as though it is lit from within by captured moonlight. At the edge of the pool, flat stones provide places to sit. You lower yourself onto one of these stones, and it is smooth and warm, perfectly positioned for contemplation. You gaze into the water, and the water gazes back, holding within it the reflection of everything, the stars above, your own face softened by the dim light, the glowing flowers that lean toward the pool as though drinking in their own beauty. You reach out and touch the surface of the water with one finger. Ripples spread in perfect concentric circles, disturbing the reflections, breaking them into fragments of light that dance and reform. The water is neither cold nor warm. It is the exact temperature of your skin, so that touching it feels like touching nothing, like your finger has simply dissolved into liquid light. As the ripples fade and the surface grows still again, you see something in the water, not your reflection, but a memory. It appears slowly, like a photograph developing, like a dream coming into focus. It is a memory of water, fittingly, a memory of swimming in a lake on a summer afternoon, the sunlight fragmenting into coins of gold on the surface, the feeling of weightlessness, of being held by something bigger than yourself, supported and safe. You remember the way the water muffled sound created a private world of aquatic silence. You remember surfacing, gasping, laughing, the sun warm on your wet face. The memory is gentle, asking nothing of you, offering only its own quiet presence. And then it fades, dissolving back into the stillness of the pool. These are sleeping memories, you understand. Memories that have rested here, that have come to the pool to dream their own dreams, to exist in this gentle space between remembering and forgetting. They are not trapped here. They are choosing to rest, to float in this luminous water, to wait patiently for anyone who might need their comfort. You look up from the pool and notice that the garden is full of small wonders you had not seen at first. Between the larger plants, tiny lights drift through the air. Not insects, but something else. They might be seeds carrying their own light, floating on invisible currents. Or they might be condensed memories, visual representations of thought and dream made briefly visible. They move like snowflakes falling upward, like stars migrating across a vertical sky, tracing paths through the warm air, drawing temporary constellations that dissolve and reform. Benches appear along the path as you continue forward. Simple benches made of smooth stone or dark wood, each one positioned perfectly to provide a view of some particular beauty. One bench faces a cluster of silver flowers that chime softly when a breeze passes through them, though there is no visible wind. Another looks out over a small grove of trees whose leaves are made of something like stained glass, glowing in shades of amber and jade, rustling with a sound like distant bells. You choose a bench beneath one of these trees and sit down. The bench embraces you, its shape accommodating your body as though it has been waiting for you specifically. You lean back, letting your head rest against the smooth wood, and look up through the glowing leaves into the star-filled sky beyond. The tree above you hums with quiet life. You can feel it through the bench, a gentle vibration. The tree's own slow heartbeat, its patient drawing of water from earth to leaf, its endless conversion of light into life. It is the most soothing sound you have ever heard that is not quite a sound. It is a frequency felt rather than heard, a resonance that your body recognizes and matches, synchronizing with the deep rhythm of growing things, of living earth, of dreams rooted in the soil of sleep. Your breath has slowed to match the tree's pace. Your heartbeat has quieted to align with the gentle pulse of the garden. You are becoming part of this place, woven into its fabric of light and shadow, of memory and forgetting, of rest and regeneration. Time in the garden is even more fluid than time elsewhere in the library. You might sit here for moments or hours or years, and it would all feel the same, perfect, complete, sufficient. There is no clock here, no appointment to keep, no urgency pushing you forward. There is only this, the bench, the tree, the glowing leaves, the distant sound of water, the warm night air, the stars above, the earth below. Other paths wind through the garden, leading to other wonders. You can see them from where you sit. A grove where books grow on trees like fruit, their covers dangling from branches, pages rustling in the not-quite breeze. A section where the plants are made entirely of crystal, catching and refracting the ambient light into rainbows that drift through the air like butterflies made of refracted color. An area where the ground itself glows, where walking would be like walking on a map of light, each step illuminating new paths, new possibilities. But you do not need to see everything. That is another gift of the library. It gives you permission to rest, to stop, to be content with this one bench, this one tree, this one moment, stretched into infinity. A luminous butterfly, or something like a butterfly, lands on your hand. Its wings are transparent, veined with light, and they open and close with impossible slowness. You feel no weight, only a slight warmth where it touches your skin. It sits there for a long moment, as though blessing you, as though transferring some of its gentle light into your body. And then it lifts away, fluttering upward to join the other drifting lights that populate the garden. You realize that you are smiling. Not a large smile, not a grin, but a small, soft turning of your lips, the physical manifestation of contentment. Your eyes are half closed, and you are seeing the garden through your lashes, which turn the lights into soft stars, which blur the edges of everything into a painting made of luminescence and shadow. As you step into the final chamber of the library, the air grows warmer, softer, almost velvety against your skin. A gentle golden glow surrounds you, not from lamps, not from candles, but from the dreams themselves, drifting lazily like tiny fireflies. You feel the weight leave your shoulders. Your breath deepens naturally. Each inhale slower, each exhale softer. A comfortable reading couch appears near a low, humming fireplace, its warmth pulsing like a slow heartbeat. You settle onto it. The cushions yield beneath you like clouds finding their perfect shape. A blanket of quiet unfolds across the room. Somewhere above, the shelves whisper to one another. Not words, but something deeper. A promise that you are safe here. The librarian of dreams, or perhaps just the dream of a librarian, places a final book beside you. Its cover glows faintly, as if waking and sleeping at the same time. You don't open it. You don't need to. You simply rest beside it, letting its calm radiance settle into you. Your body becomes heavier. Your thoughts become lighter. The world softens. The shelves breathe with you. The lights dim with you. The library itself seems to fall asleep with you. And as your eyes begin to close, you hear one final whisper, soft as falling dust. You are safe here. You are home. Rest now, dream wanderer. Let sleep take you gently. The glow fades into warmth. The warmth dissolves into quiet. The quiet becomes sleep. And you drift, and drift, and drift into the softest, deepest rest.